Yeah, now we are glad to announce Mr. Juncker from the Project Management Office for Funded Research and Innovation Projects named Eurogrant. Mr. Juncker is consultant and project manager for European Union funded R&D projects. And yeah, in his presentation now, he's going to provide insights into key considerations for application submissions, address common challenges, and highlight some innovations. Mr. Juncker, thank you so much for also being here today and give us some information. And yeah, so I would say the stage is yours now.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I want to present. Now I have to this one. I think it is the correct one, hopefully. Yeah, this. Oh no, no, not this one. This one. I want to present some tips and tricks for the application process, since I didn't know what already came, and there was also the plan that you already have a presentation about the three parts of the proposal, but due to an illness, there is no presentation of that. So my presentation will be very general and give you a little bit of insight into the application process itself and less tips and tricks. And please note that this is my experience. I'm doing this for over 10 years, but it is always depending also on reviewers. So what works for one consortium might not work for every consortium. So this said first, but let's start. So general advice, I hope, as I said, I hope you see my presentation. As a general advice, which already was said by the NCP, read the topics carefully. Read, oh, you don't see my presentation. Now. Do you see it now? Sorry.
Yes, now we can see your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I have to double click it. Okay, now I am. So general advice is read the topics very carefully. Make sure you can fulfill all necessary points, because you limit your chances of success if you lack any of the points that are given in the topics. Make sure pay close attention to the wording. As I said, this was also already said by the NCP. Must include, should include are basically the same. It needs to be included. Then if you have bullet points, read carefully. Do you need to address all of them, or only two, or something like that? So is there a hint of collaboration with other projects or associations? This was also already mentioned. If you need to, like the European Bauhaus, do you have to consider this? Are there cross-cutting priorities that can be social sciences or something else? This is always said in the topic, so read it carefully. Right after this slide, I will show one topic just briefly, because we don't have that much time, and show you where you can find everything. So then check if your consortium fits the task. Can you fulfill everything you plan and that is asked for with the partners you have? Often I see people want to have a project, of course, because they know each other, they work together very well, but are they sufficient? Do they can they fulfill everything, and also explain that properly? Can they convince reviewers that they, with this consortium, are able to do what they are promising? Also, you work together, so you want them in the project, but does every partner have a proper role? Really a significant role in the project? What is the role? It can be slight, it doesn't have to be a huge budget, but it needs to be important for the project. So can every partner obviously fulfill his role, what they're promising? And do you have access to all the facilities you need? If you promise to have like beam times and synchrotrons, can you make sure that you have, maybe it's an option to have a synchrotron organization in your consortium, and that so increase the possibility or probability to get beam times. Just as an example. Check for further information. Get the evaluation templates. This helps you to see the other side. It is not the full one. The reviewers get more detailed ones, but for every topic, there is a general evaluation template where you can see what the reviewers are actually looking for. Also already said by the NCP is most calls are embedded in bigger pictures. So check the topic destinations, especially the key strategic orientations that are looked for in this specific call. Because you in the general work program, you might have A, B, C, D, E, but this topic only looks for A and C or something like that. So check which ones are relevant for your proposal and directly address it. And of course, check with your NCP for help and additional information. As I said, I just want to show quickly a topic. So this now I need to. Now you should be able to see this topic. There you can see. You see the general information on the topic. When's the deadline? When is it open? Here you have the topic description. What the NCP showed was the from the work program, and here is it on the website where you have additional information and everything you need, or most things you need. It's always good to have a look in the work program, how it's embedded in the bigger picture. So as you can see here, the general information here, you can see the budget for every topic, the estimated budget, what they want to contribute to the project, and how many projects there are. So you can also estimate how good are your chances. If there's only one, you have to be really good, but also depends on how many other consortia are applying for funding. Here you see the general description of the topic and specific topic conditions like the TRL. I don't want to go into it in detail too much. Also beneath that would be the cross-cutting priorities. Here are none, but they would be in here. Then it's here you can show more or less. Here you have the topic destinations, as said before. And here is what I said, the destination key strategic orientations are C and A for this topic. And so not all, but these are important. And here you also find the impact. What does is the bigger picture, what do you need to see to get out of your project? Because you don't do the project only to do a project, but the EC also wants to have an impact on the general scale. So yeah, not too much in detail. Then you have obviously the general terms and conditions. This is not that interesting, but here you have the standard evaluation form. There you can see what they are looking for. Also, another point is here you can do a partner search for every topic you have that. You can add yourself to it and find partners. And then you start to submission. And generally interesting is, here this is not, but here's how you get support. And on the bottom, if there are any updates on the topic, sometimes because the work program runs for 2 years, sometimes you get updates, maybe slight changes that you would find at the bottom of the call. So just as a general, very brief introduction, and back to my presentation now. So, yeah, the application is done via the funding and tenders portal, as I showed you just right now. And for the, I don't know, since I don't know who has experience and who doesn't, I included this. You need a PIC, a participant identification code. You can apply for that with the EC or within the funding and tenders portal. You will get a number, and with all of you always apply with this number. Please check if your organization already has one. If you already applied for one, it is very probable that you already have a PIC, and if you create a new one, it might create some issues at other points. Already said by the NCP also, it is consists of part A and B. Part A is to be filled online. Part B is the template that you fill as Word and then upload as PDF. And make sure that you download the latest version. It's also after you start the submission, you are able to download all necessary templates for the for your call and for your proposal. And this is important because sometimes there are slight changes only in wording. Sometimes they introduce new things. So make sure you use the latest one. The deadline is final. There is no submission later, correcting things after the deadline. If it says the 21st, 17 o'clock, it is 17 o'clock and not 17:01. You will not be able to change anything or submit any later. If you don't submit anything, you save but not do not submit, doesn't count for the EC. So make sure you submit your proposal in time, and it is better to submit way before the deadline, because sometimes often there are a lot of deadlines at one point, and closer to the deadline the traffic will be getting busier, and sometimes you wait then 2 minutes for a page to refresh, and that might be too late then. So use your time and try to submit it way before. So yeah, also already said, so I don't go over it very briefly. It's completely filled online. This is general information on the project and the project partners. Project budget contains ethical issues and security issues, and the and additional questions if needed. So, but make sure that you fill everything as good as you can. Some people tend to just fill it because they have to fill it, but give special attention to the publications, because that might be points where the evaluator looks if he thinks the proposal is good, but wants to get more information on the partners. He will, or they will, look into that part too. And if you have very relevant and very new publications, then you might get the edge on this one. And also equipment. If you describe equipment in part B that you will use, and so in the real proposal, in the written one, then make sure it shows here, that they look here and see, okay, they say they have that equipment. Be consistent with this one. And obviously also with the budget. In part B, you also have to describe some of the budget, and that should definitely fit what you are asking for in part A, because here you fill the actual budget. So, and other interesting information is maybe that the coordinator is able to change everything in part A, but the other participants can only change their own description and budget. Yes, part B has the 3 parts: excellence, impact, quality, and efficiency, that we already heard. Here it's important to make your story consistent throughout the proposal. Give a common theme throughout the proposal. Be consistent, that your impact matches the excellence you promise. The excellence is like you describe objectives, and do these objectives fit the impact you want to give or you want to make with your project, and are they able to achieve that? Then how do they achieve that? And also make sure, obviously, that part 3, where you describe work package and everything, is able to fulfill all the excellence points and impact you promised. It is always good to, if you start with objectives and goals of your project, to always come back to them and say, yeah, this one will make sure that we reach objective 1. This one will make sure that we reach objective 3, and so on. So you have a consistent story throughout your proposal. And also show that you have the right team. This would be the last point of most proposals, to describe the consortium. There you show that your consortium fits the tasks and also is complementary. Everybody can work together. Everything is covered, but also there is no doubling in activities, that 2 partners are for the same topic. And if you would have that, you would need to explain why. Maybe they have different angles on that are both interesting, or yeah. So show that you have the right team. Answer the questions. I often see that people tend to think some questions or points of the proposal might not be that important. One very famous is the gender aspect. In most proposals, there's asked for a gender aspect, explain it. And even if you don't consider it relevant for your proposal, give a statement why. Explain how you achieved this, or how you got to this point to say, no, gender is not an aspect because we only look at the physics, and physics has no gender aspect for anybody. But give a pathway to how you got to this, and write everything where it is asked for, because the reviewers tend to just look at the specific points and see if you answered it for their if they are happy with your answer for this. And I mean, there might be reviewers that are going the extra mile and look for the proposal, but most are just, they don't have that much time. So if there's a point, answer the point at this. So where they ask for objectives, just answer the objectives. Don't underestimate 2.3. This is an overview of of your project, basically. What is the need? What are your objectives? What will be the impact? So basically a pathway to this and how you maximize this. This is not part of the evaluation. You don't get points for it, but most reviewers might start here and to get an overview over your project. So it should fill everything you write anywhere else in the proposal and give a good overview of your pathway from needs of the society or science to the impact. So this is my project, this will be the results of my project, this will be the outcome, and then the impact on the longer path. So don't underestimate that and take your time to fill that properly. Then what was already told by the NCP also was there are more and more lump sum proposals. They're getting more common in Horizon Europe because it aims to reduce the administration task and financial errors. Yeah, so what happens with lump sums? In the lump sum, your budget is completely defined up front. This is not just an estimation, and then in a normal project, you give an estimation, and then when it happens, you just give reports, and based on that, your budget calculation is done for the actual cost. Here, you give it completely upfront, and you will get the payments based on a work package. So estimate your costs as usual, but then you need to set item costs, which I will show you very briefly on the next slide. Then very important is the costs are defined per work package. So very in the budget table is way more detailed for every work package, because lump sum is paid per completed work package. So plan enough time to get used to the system, to create the budget and to fill the budget, especially if you have never done it before, because there might be some issues and obstacles at one point or another. For the rest of the proposal, there are only small changes. You have the same reporting periods. Like a midterm, you have the same pre-financing, but work packages are, the payments are dependent on work package completion. That's why it is possible to split work package. If you have a work package that will run the whole project, maybe you make it two with defined endpoints. When is the first finished before the reporting deadline, so you get an interim payment if it's necessary. If it's just a small work package, it's maybe not worth the trouble, but this depends on you. So that's why they have also normally a higher page limit, because you tend to have to describe more work packages. Important is make a good estimation, because the budget is part of the evaluation of the lump sum proposal. So the evaluator says they will have a look at it and can estimate if it is properly done. Okay, and if it is correct. So the other award criteria stay the same. They review the excellence, the impact, and budget is part. The budget and your budget explanation is part of the quality of the implementation. So point 3. So here I want to show you that this is how the budget sheets look like. What I said, it's more detailed. This is for one work package. So you can see you define different classes of employees. Like senior science, you can change the names here, like you make it professor or something like this. And so you have to calculate the cost per work package. Do you have subcontracting in this work package? Do you have travel costs, equipment, and so on? And so you get a total. If I have the time, I think I have the time, I will show you very briefly the template for the budget for this for a budget lump sum budget template. So now you should be able to see it. This is here. Obviously, you have to the instructions here. It is made very easy, but you have to get used to it. Here you can add beneficiaries. There you see here's beneficiary 1. You can fill. I added one. Yeah, then you need to also apply changes. Double click, and you will see there. Here will be. Hopefully a second beneficiary. Somehow this doesn't work right now. Okay, maybe there's a different, but here you can see what you need to fill for every beneficiary. The country is important because there are some different results. Some different fundings for, especially here, SME owners and so on. If you are an SME owner who does not get paid, you get a lump, so a unit cost. This is defined by the EC, how much it is, and it is with a national factor. So it might be higher or less. So yeah, and then you have the summary of all your work packages. They would be all here. The work package for beneficiary 1. and then you get an overview on the total costs. Yeah, and this is very, very, very briefly for my introduction, and a very, very short overview on the lump sum proposal, just to show you that it is, maybe you should plan some time for the some more time for the lump sum proposals, if it is interesting, or if it is asked for in the call. So that would be it from me, very briefly, as I said, just rushing through interesting or important things. If you have any questions, I will be here, and you can also contact me via the EEN platform. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Mr. Juncker, for giving some tips and tricks for the proposal.